My husband cheated with the babysitter, so I bought a nanny cam and put it on live stream. I'm sure some of you have been cheated on before, but have you ever caught your partner in the act using a nanny cam? Well, let me tell you about the time I did just that. Maybe you'll want to do the same thing. My husband and I have been married for about 7 years. We have 2 beautiful kids. Our son is 9 months old and our daughter is 1.5 years old, and both of us work full time. For the last few months, my schedule shifted and I had to leave for work 2 hours before my husband. Enter the babysitter. She's a 25-year-old woman who we hired off of an online service to watch the kids in the morning before my husband left for work. At first, everything seemed great, the kids loved her, and she was reliable. She had a lot of child care experience and was certified in CPR. She was perfect. A little too perfect, I guess, because soon I started to notice that my husband was acting a bit strange. He seemed way too eager to get out of bed in the morning and seemed to be taking extra care with his appearance. He would be up and showered, have his coffee, and then brush his teeth immediately afterwards, which is something he never did before. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but it was hard not to suspect something was up. So I devised a plan. I decided to buy a hidden nanny cam to see what was really going on in my house when I was at work. The camera was disguised as a Scentsy warmer, so it blended in seamlessly with our home decor. I set it up in the living room on one of the end tables, where the babysitter usually hung out with the kids before he left for work. I thought if anything begins to happen, it would surely start to happen there. Who would leave a 9-month baby alone with a 1-year-old? I obviously didn't tell my husband about the camera, but I wanted to do something to let him know that he couldn't get away with anything like this, if in fact he was up to no good. That's when I had the brilliant, or perhaps crazy idea to stream the nanny cam footage on my Facebook account. I know it sounds insane, but I felt like if he was going to cheat on me, then the world should know. He should also suffer some sort of consequences and hurt in the way it would hurt me. Plus, it added an extra layer of excitement and satisfaction to the whole thing. I'll admit, I was a little nervous about the whole situation, but I went through with it anyway. I set up the live stream and left for work, my heart pounding the entire time. I didn't have to wait long for the action to start. As soon as I arrived at work, I checked the live stream and saw my husband and the babysitter cozying up on the couch. They were watching a movie with the kids, but they were sitting way too close for my liking. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had always trusted my husband, but there he was, getting touchy-feely with a woman who was only 5 years younger than us. It felt like my whole world was crumbling before my eyes. I was a mix of anger and sadness as I watched the love of my life betray me for our freaking babysitter. And I was embarrassed too. It's like my life just became the plot for a sleazy talk show from the early 2000s or something. I continued watching as the flirting escalated, and then the unthinkable happened. They started making out right there on the couch while the kids were still in the room. Yeah, they're too young to know what's up, but still. I was furious, but I also felt vindicated. My suspicions have been confirmed, and now everyone could see my husband for the cheating scumbag that he was. As the video continued to stream, I noticed that the view count on my Facebook page was skyrocketing. Friends, family, and even strangers were tuning in to watch the drama unfold. Comments started pouring in, and the general consensus was that my husband was a total jerk. Someone must have reported the issue to Facebook, because it wasn't too long before the live stream was terminated and my Facebook account was suspended for violating the community guidelines. I guess live streaming your cheating husband isn't exactly the kind of content they want on their platform. But by that point, the damage had already been done. Everyone knew what my husband had done, and he couldn't hide from the truth any longer. When he found out about the live stream, he was livid. He called me at work, screaming and cursing, demanding to know why I would do such a thing. He was humiliated, and his anger was palpable. But you know what? I didn't care. I was the one who had been betrayed, and he had the audacity to be angry with me for exposing his infidelity. It was laughable. I told him that if he hadn't been cheating in the first place, there wouldn't have been anything to broadcast. That shut him up pretty quickly. Shortly thereafter, I got a call from his mother who was sobbing on the phone and kept apologizing that her firstborn child did this to me and the kids. His father could be heard in the background yelling and cussing at the top of his lungs. My own parents beeped him while I was on the phone with his mother. They asked me if I was okay and said to go get the kids and come to their place. So I talked to my boss. She was very supportive. Apparently she had been cheated on as well and actually commended me for exposing him and at least getting some revenge. She said she wished she had done the same thing when it happened to her. So I went home and walked in, not saying a word to him. I was crying and just started packing. He tried to make excuses that she came onto him and that he resisted. All I said was, "Rick, I saw the entire thing. Now shut up and get away from me." I packed a suitcase and packed up both diaper bags and said, "You'll be hearing from my lawyer." And then I slammed the door and left with the kids. In the following days, my husband's life started to unravel. People he knew stopped talking to him, and his reputation took a massive hit. The babysitter, of course, was fired immediately. I reported her to the online service and her account was terminated. I made sure that she understood the consequences of her actions and that she would never work in our town again. My parents helped me get a new start and for now are gladly watching the kids while I work. As for our marriage, well, it was over. There was no coming back from something like that. I knew I could never trust him again, and I didn't want to waste any more of my life with someone who clearly didn't value our relationship. I filed for divorce, and with the evidence from the live stream, it was a pretty open and shut case. So there you go. How did she do? Is there something else she should have done? Let us know what you would have done in the comments below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.